I got a job. It was unexpected. It was definitely, absolutely just a gift, a miracle, as these things usually are. It just got dumped in my lap almost. I actually technically started working on this months ago, this particular role, this particular job. I had been looking for a job for probably close to a year, just simply because I had to get out of where I was. And I had gotten nowhere, absolutely nowhere. I would put in resumes and fill out the applications, and then it would just go off to Neverland. Would never hear anything, and then months later I would get an automated rejection email, and most of the time, by the time I got it, it had been so long I'd actually forgotten that I'd applied for the job. But this one was different. This one was very different. I applied for it, and within probably about an hour of submitting the application, someone from their HR department reached out wanting to set up a time to talk to me. And we did, that next day actually, and then I had 5 interviews in the course of 2 weeks. So they were moving very, very rapidly on this, and I started at HR, and then the guy that would be my boss, and then the people that would be on my team, and then peer, and all the way up to the CTO of the company. I interviewed with him, and then silence. I just got ghosted almost. It felt like it was just completely dead. Nothing. I would reach out to them, and the guy I needed to talk to was out on vacation this week, or at one point they said they were still interviewing other candidates, and they would let me know. And this went on for a month or more, to the point to where I had just kind of chalked it up, as not getting the job, just like all the others. And on my last day at my last job, I got an email from them and wanting to know if I had time for a call the next day, which I did, since I was going to be unemployed. But got on the phone with them, their technical HR recruiting guy, and then he asked if I could speak to their HR director, and I did, which I guess would have been my 6th interview. And then ultimately they wound up making me an offer that I accepted. So I guess technically I was unemployed for 2.5 days before I signed an offer and agreed to go on to work with a new company, which I know in itself is a miracle. I know that is incredibly unusual, and it's just a blessing. But I had faith. I knew that God was going to provide. I knew that He was going to come through for this. I knew that there was something out there, something better for me. In truth, I kind of halfway expected to hear back from this company, although I also just kind of halfway felt like they had moved on and forgotten me. I don't know. It was odd. For them to have moved that quickly and everything just suddenly come to a halt after it had been so great over the course of a couple of weeks. I really felt like God was just saying, okay, I brought you this far. Do you trust me? And me stepping out, leaving my old job, without a new job, truthfully without any prospects, because like I said, I hadn't heard from these people for over a month, was me just stepping out on faith, knowing, praying that everything would be okay. And it was. The Lord provides. The Lord is good. But I know a lot of people out there are looking for jobs. I know a lot of people out there are struggling. I know a lot of people out there haven't had that miracle yet. All I know to tell you is just keep praying. It's coming. And when it does show up, it will land in your lap, and it will be more than you expected. As is the case with this job, I had already decided that I was going to have to take a pay cut just to find a job somewhere. And on the last day before I got the offer, I was talking with the HR guy, and he told me what the job paid, the max end salary was on it, and it was just a very open and honest conversation. And I told him what I had been making, and admitted that I knew I was most likely going to have to take a pay cut. They did have a little bit of bonus potential there in that company, and I said that could make up for it. But it was a few $1,000s, several $1,000 pay cut that I was going to be taking, which I honestly did not mind because I had a job. It was better than zero, which was my current income, which was about to be my current income. So when he got ready for offer letter, he came back and said that he had gone to them and gotten them to match my salary, my previous salary, which was totally unexpected. I never would have thought that would have happened. I wasn't even asking them to do that. So again, God provides, and when he does, it will be the right thing at the right time, and it will fall in your lap, and it will be even more than you had hoped or expected. You just have to have faith. You just have to keep pushing through. You have to keep praying, and it will come.